going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Savage Studios. It's your boy Savage. You already know what's up. Much love, much respect to all my new subscribers, all my old subscribers. As you can see, your boy went and got his dome ski hit. Let me get you a clear view. Whew. Not done. Obviously, I got more space to fill up back here and whatnot. But it was a healthy start. Hurt like a bitch, and I'm happy with it, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. You guys like this? Man, I'm in love with it. Can't wait to do some more. Very excited. Go check my boy out. I will include his Instagram, the link to his Instagram in my bio, just in case you want to get tatted by him. Solid dude, good guy, good character, great work, even better work. You know, just a good experience all around, man. He's got some great ink, but he's got even better prices. So, man, be sure to check him out. My boy Pablo. I'll put his link into his Instagram, into my bio. With that being said, we have part 2 to talk about joining a protective custody gang, right? Because everyone thinks I'm so one-sided. Everyone thinks, oh, it's just a campaign, or I'm running a slogan or propaganda for the SNY, for the PC. All right, well, today we're going to talk about some pros, and we're going to talk about some cons. We're going to get into, you know, exactly, because we already talked about why people are joining these SNY gangs, how they see it. Are they seeing themselves join another gang? Are they seeing themselves joining something that actually makes sense to them for the first time since they've been in prison? It's a big difference. First thing first, before we start, I do want to say we kind of spoke about what was bad about these GPRs, right? What the problem was, right? With being GP, not with being a GP black, like a Blood or a Crip or anyone else. And I'm sure they got their own issues, GP as well. But let's talk about some pros to the situation of staying active, staying solid, right? There is a lot of pros. I'm not going to lie to you, man. And sometimes when I was on the SNY yards, I used to be like, damn, you only see shit like this on this side of the fence. The majority of people who are SNY or PC do have a dope debt, have dropped out behind a dope debt, have got stabbed behind some snake shit, but a lot of them have actually been done dirty. Not everybody. We all know that. We're not stupid. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sell you wolf tickets to tell you everybody that's PC that dropped out was a noble stand-up guy, a stand-up vato. No. Far from it. So, obviously, in the same sense, I can't lie to you and tell you that there's not trash on the GP side, because every active who's truly active will tell you how much trash is on the GP side, because when you are GP or when you are active, there's a whole lot of complaining about all the shit that needs to be cleaned up while you're there on that yard. There's a constant filtering of trash that's there. Kind of like it is on the SNY side with the chomos and the rapists. It's the same shit with the GP, except their filtering out process doesn't include that. They don't get sent chomos and rapists and shit. What they filter out is those who are considered no good because they got hit over in this prison, because they did a bad call, or because they ran up a dope debt, or because any number of reasons why they're no good, not having to do with sexual charges, not having to do with bad paperwork. Could be bad paperwork, it could be snitches, it could be got caught testifying, it could know from the hood, did some funny shit in the hood, who knows. Order, structure, rules, everyone loves that, right? Prison is very, very close to replicating the military. Now, why I say that is because we run a very structured program. Being able to get out, being able to let my program fall into places as it is, I am not going to lie to you, I lost a lot of accountability with my program. I used to wake up at 4:30. By the time it was 5:30, I had already 500 Brown Eagles under my belt, if not more. We sounding off. We wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We yelling on the tier, Buenos dias, you know, speaking our you know what I mean? All that routine is great for the discipline. It's great for the accountability. That's that prison glow that bitches talk about when you get out the pen, and motherfuckers know about, hey, he got out the pen and he had that prison glow. It's not about a certain tan. It's not because you was working out on the yard in the sun. Nah. It's because you so damn disciplined. 9 out of 10 motherfuckers out here don't have discipline. They don't get up and they don't grind. They don't have that set schedule. They're not accountable like we are. So when you go PC, it closely replicates the streets. It closely mimics the streets when it comes time to how you want to do your program. You see, a lot of people are joining these SNY gangs just because of the institutionalism that they have within themselves. They think when they drop out, they're going to suddenly, miraculously let go of being institutionalized, let go of that accountability. Well, let me tell you something. They don't do that, because especially if you're level 4 and you dropped out, you don't get to go level 4, 180, drop out, now you get to go level 2 because you're PC. Nah. They keep you level 4. They keep you with your classification designation due to your level point, your points. When you start realizing that the only people who run a schedule like you, the only people who are accountable like you, are a part of something. It's not a structure. It's not an organization. They're a part of a brotherhood. They chose to be a part. They went in saying, I want to be with this. I'm cool with this. Okay. There's no rules, bro, with how you program, when you wake up, what you do. But a lot of us still wake up at 4:30, work out, get our mandatory workouts in because that's what we like to do. A lot of us still respect each other, don't talk crazy, don't disrespect people in the yard. A lot of us is still poking shit. A lot of us is not going to take no disrespect. A lot of us, all of us, ain't going to sell up with no funny dudes, ain't going to live with no funny dudes. None of us ain't going to accept no dudes who's testifying, making it a habit to be snitching or tattletelling. So when you in a circle, when everybody's morals are still aligning, and you can finally agree on the fact that none of you guys like shot callers, none of you guys are paying taxes, all of you guys got each other's back, 2 + 2 = 4, my boy. Especially if, you know, these is lifers, you doing a long term. I could understand if you got 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, maybe even 7 years to do. Keep your head down. Do you. 10 years and up, you there for a tight sit. You know what I'm saying? That's not life. It's not all day. And to a lot of motherfuckers, that shit ain't shit. But it's a tight sit. You're spending a decade. You're spending a decade within the walls of prison. If you're not already trained and subconsciously, you know, built some kind of way, within those 10 years, you will be traumatized. You will be institutionalized. It just depends how you do your time, right? I could have went the opposite way. Could have went down to the low level points. Obviously, your boy went up. You know what I'm saying? And then the little bad habits, right, that I thought was good. The accountability, the program, the routine, the cutthroatness, the knowing that if it's 0 to 100, it's 0 to 100. There's no 0 to 50, 0 to 60. Because where I'm at, where I'm doing my time, these motherfuckers is going 0 to 100 my ass. And when you S&Y and PC, you don't got no rules. You don't got no one to answer to. However, let's get back to the pros. You don't got to deal with all that shit when you're GP. You don't got to deal with catching head up fades like that. You don't at all. I mean, maybe in certain joints, yeah, you could get it in where they're more laxed with another race. Doubt it. I ain't been on the yard where that was cool ever. So that's a cool thing. You don't ever got to worry about, you know what I mean, that head up man to man shit. It's just going to pop off a riot. But if it's behind you and some dumb shit you started, well, that's your ass. You might as well go PC as soon as the riot's over because it's going to fall back on you. Everything always traces back to how it started. Obviously, there is something to be said about that race. The race shit that I spoke about yesterday or the day before in part 1. As crazy and as shitty as it is to push your racial supremacy when you're in prison or when you're in a situation like that, it's actually quite powerful, exhilarating. It's like being a part of something that is shameful to be a part of on the streets. You're a part of that in prison. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be racist. I don't care what nobody says, man. Ain't nobody walking around saying F this race or F that race. But y'all all saying it amongst yourselves. We disrespectfully talk about the whites. We disrespectfully talk about the blacks, the others. And they all do it to us and amongst themselves. Nobody is showing nobody that kind of love to anyone's culture. And the power that comes with that, the eliteness that comes with it, the cutthroat mindset that comes with it, it is invigorating. It is exhilarating. It does pump you up. It does gas you up. And you will enjoy a lot of shit. It's cool to hit a line and want to put in work and want to earn some shit. It is cool. It's cool to be taken care of. It's cool to see the way the system does work amongst all the pawns in an active yard. And when I say pawns, I don't mean to disrespect all these dudes, but at the end of the day, a lot of these dudes are nobodies when it matters. They're just another faceless soldier. Nameless, faceless, hoodless soldier, because none of that stuff matters unless you really with the functions and you putting yourself on the map continuously in the shoe, your name is known. Then yeah, a lot of guys don't care. They do it for themselves, man. They do it for their own state of well-being, man. They put in their little bit of work. They understand that they're not a big shot caller. They understand that their name ain't ringing no bells. And then they get out feeling good about themselves because that's the way they validate themselves, right? To say, hey, I didn't fold. Hey, I stood tall. Or hey, they never broke me. I never bitched up, or I could hang. There's a lot of pride that comes with that. So of course, people, it's a plus to say GP if you want to keep that. If you're the type of person who needs that, then yes, of course, man. It's not going to get any more prideful to be a part of a strong army, right? Just like back in the Roman Empire, you know, when you're a part of something that's very lethal, very deadly, very strong, very powerful, of course you're going to rep it. Of course you want to stand tall for it, right? Okay. Next. Cleanliness, healthiness, progressiveness. It sucks to be held accountable for every little thing. And that's why people tend to choose the easy way out, right? Roll it up, lock it up. Whatever the case may be, however you end up PC, you get to see real quick, real fast, right away, the level of accountability is no longer there. So you get to see how people would live in their natural environment, their natural state of mind. How are they going to do their time? When are they going to wake up? What are they going to be talking about? How are they going to dress? How are they going to come? Are they going to start coming out to chow with their shower shoes on? You know, just slipping around the day room, not giving a fuck? Yes, it does happen. But that's not a bad thing to the people who are doing it now. But to people who are institutionalized like myself, I'm institutionalized within institutionalism. That's when you're stuck doing time a lot of time. And then you go to the shoe more than you're on the yard. So you're confined to solitary confinement. You're in the shoe, you're in the hole more than you're on a yard. That's when you start to become institutional. That's why when you get back out to the yard and you meet your celly who's down, who's with the business, who ain't done too many shoe terms, maybe once in his life, he can't really relate to your way you think. He can't really get your energy, your intensity, because he ain't lived that 23 and 1 type shit at all. When you have spent most of your time like that. So for someone like me, it was kind of a bad thing, man. I instantly looked for people who, I mean, if as far as it came to like workout partners, you know, relatability, handball partners, you still doing time, my boy. You still doing time. Yeah, you can keep your head down, not fuck with nobody. It doesn't go that way because when I first dropped out, the number one thing I tripped on that totally brought me out of my shell, because I went in. I isolated from everybody. I was mad. I remember going out to yards, screaming out, fuck all these PC gangs. I was on the trip. The next day I come out to yard. I'm seeing dudes from my hood, fools that I was just with on the active yard, who are PC. Dudes that I left on the GP yard, who I guess followed behind me weeks later or a month later. Obviously we're gonna talk. Obviously we're gonna ask each other, you know, what happened, man? Why'd you do that? Why'd you lock it up? Well, why'd you lock it up? No matter who I talk to, no matter how many people I asked the same question to, whatever the conversation came out to, there was never an ounce of regret. I never met one person who regretted leaving that side. However, I will tell you this. This isn't a propaganda video. I'm not telling you to go PC. I'm not telling you to go GP. I've said this plenty of times. If you go GP, that's your choice. That's what you decide to do. All I'm doing is lacing you up to the gills and letting you know exactly what you're going to have to deal with and what you might have come your way. SNY, I'm doing the same shit for you. Don't go PC because it's 10 times more with the shit than it is in GP. You want to know why I say that? Because it's a turf battle. It's a gang battle. You can't ask the question, how come you could drop out of one gang and join another? That's done. That's overdue. You may not understand it, and you'll never need to understand it. That doesn't even apply no more. We're past that. 2-5 was beginning to be founded in the early 90s, bro, when there was no PC yard. These guys, the older heads who went on to be the 2-5ers, right? Coined 2-5ers, right? The ones who got validated and sent to Pelican Bay, Corcoran, Tehachapi, and wherever you know what I'm saying? Those guys. Everyone thinks that people made these PC yards or SNY yards for the chomos. These yards, the SNY and the PC ones were fought for. They were fought for from guys that were thrown in the hat. No good. Dudes who were doing time in the 80s, Old Folsom, San Quentin, all these other prisons. that were killers, registered killers, not nobody to sleep on. Dudes who would get whacked, sliced in Tehachapi in the 90s and still not leave. They would still come back. They would still stay. They have all the scars and all the battle wounds and paperwork to back that shit up. Now, there was a lot who did get ran off the yard. There was a lot who did turn tail. Obviously, you know, they're in the hat. They're getting whacked. There's a mandatory, mandated rule. If you get to Tehachapi in the early 90s, you got, what, 10 days, I think, if you're lucky, to get off and go back to the hole. A lot of them did. A lot of them didn't. The ones who did never really were able to execute and wipe off the whole yard. There was, no matter what anybody will tell you, no matter what your OG tells you, I saw the paperwork. I've actually lived with amongst these OGs in the shoe who have been down for 30 years. So unless the OG who's telling you did 30 years, got the paperwork to prove it, or was in Tehachapi in the early 90s, can actually show you him putting in some work, I recommend you tell him to shut the fuck up, just to be real with you. Those yards were fought for. The whole 2-5, the name, the peseta, the peseton, the quarter, all of that. Long ago, my dude. And then you got the Northern Riders who came out with Snoop. Snoop came out with the Northern Riders, 2005 or so. The Independent Riders. What it turned into was a demographic type of battle in prison. It was no longer about, why are we doing this? How does this look to a GP? Or are we going at it with them? Nah. The 2-5s disappeared. Once the PCRs were created, the 2-5s they disappeared for a while. There was no need for them. Then there became this funk within the S&Y system of the northern inmates and the southern inmates not getting along. Snoop coming out with what he came out with, the Northern Riders. You can't just be bullying on homies that are dropouts from down south because you guys are from up north and you still have this gang called Northern Riders. So that's when the 2-5ers, which were with the business, which all knew it was time to get off when they were in Tehachapi when the shit started, who didn't really give a fuck about being called a 2-5er. They were just thrown in the hat and knew that if it came down, when a new bus came, get ready to rock. They all came together because they had one thing in common. They had came from Tehachapi around that time. So they were close, man, and they had rocked with each other as the pesetas. Okay. What do we do about these Northern Riders, man? These dudes are pushing up on this yard, or this yard. What's up? Well, shit, homie, there's a lot of us, dog. I mean, we're all from the same area. The majority of the 2-5ers at that time were all from Southern California for the most part. Okay, well, let's revive. Let's revive and let's revamp. Because one thing that it does, it's a social influence. When you see somebody gathering and doing and resetting and restocking and actually having the gal and nuts and audacity to push something new with new rules and regulations and understandings and logics, you start to ask yourself, well, hell, when I was GP, I didn't lock it up behind one guy or two guys. Not even three guys made me lock it up. I escaped a whole organization. Right? Yo, well, you couldn't hang. Oh, no, I couldn't hang. I couldn't hang with a whole organization. What am I supposed to do? Come out and fire on the whole yard? And then come out and do it again and again and again and again? So, people say, I'm strong. I never once thought I was weak because I locked it up. I still don't think I'm weak. I know as a man, for sure, man to man, that's how I carry myself in public. I don't walk around saying, this or I'm that. No, I'm me. I'm a man. My name is Steven. I'm a guy. That's it. That's all it is. I'm an alpha male. I'm a lion. You fuck with me, I'm gonna chew you up. As simple as that. And if you win, you win. If I win, I win. It don't matter. One thing's for sure, you're gonna know I socked you in your fucking mouth. That's it. Didn't hesitate. Didn't play a game with you. Didn't wait 1 second. I laid it right in your fucking stupid mouth. That's it. So these guys who think like me, maybe just a little more extreme with it. Let's revamp this shit. Let's restart it. Let's do it with better fucking rules. Let's do it with a better understanding than that side. They want to whack you over any little fucking thing. You step on a crack, they put a knife in your fucking back on that side. Let's make it to where that doesn't happen. They got communists. Okay, let's make it to where everyone gets a motherfucking vote and not be a dictator. Let's make it to where everyone gets to decide on this shit, right? Let's do it that way. You want to be a part of it? You join. Let's make it to where not everyone just walks in. You got to earn your shit. You got to put in work to even claim this. And if you want out, we ain't going to kill you. We're not gonna torture your whole fucking life and existence and call you a piece of shit. You're gonna the same way you put that jersey on, you're gonna take it off. Little rules like that is what kept people going. It kept people pumped up to keep on attacking. Foot on the gas pedal. And just like this, these new gangs were exploding in numbers. Thousands upon thousands now. Of 2-5ers alone. I'm not talking about independent riders, Zapatistas, the Naranjeros from Orange County. I ain't talking about all these dudes. The white boy gangs. There's so many of them. The Crips and Bloods together made a gang. I'm not even talking about these guys. The Muslims made one. And I'm not even talking about them. How, you ask yourself, how is there so many pieces of shits, in your opinion, right? That's what y'all are saying, right? Fucking peseta. Dude, I'll break you, bro. I'll fold you, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Be smart. Think before you approach this video with the lame-ass comment, a little small box mind brain, no pea-brain having ass motherfucking comment. Think for a second. And ask an informed question. Let me inform you. And then you can ask an informed question. Where the fuck you think all them numbers came from? How the fuck you think 2-5 got deep? How the fuck you think Northern Riders got deep? How the fuck you think independent riders got deep? Naranjeros got deep? Rebel Zapatistas got deep? These are gangs that are all lifers. There's gangs that are literally specifically for lifers who kill shit. That's it. Call them a bitch, call them a peseta, all you want, but they kill shit. They got more bodies than you. They came from GP. We don't pull them out of thin air. We don't dig them out of the gopher holes on the yard. Nah, we don't pull them out of the dumpsters. They don't come in our mail. They don't come with canteen. These fresh bros are coming from being homies all the time. Locking it up, 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 locking it up. I never once said it was better to go PC than to go GP. Never did. You got to understand where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the point of view where everyone wants to call this side a piece of shit. But if you really think about it, look how you treat your own homies and they lock it up. And you mad because they a part of something else? Oh, but it's okay for you to treat us like a piece of shit, huh? For a motherfucker to put in work for however many years, go up against however many motherfuckers, be labeled a piece of shit like that. It could be the smallest thing is getting found with a kite, a hot kite, on accident, fishing it on the tier, cop gets it, what the fuck? Now I gotta pay $1,000 or so or I'm getting whacked. So a lot of rules have changed, which is great. And actually I do believe that now with all the new shit that's happened and all the new rules that have changed, a GP yard is probably a cool yard to be on. Because it's not the same GP yard I was on. No. That's the problem that y'all need to understand. We was on 2 different GP generations. I was on the tail end of the realest motherfucking generation. Come on, man. Much respect. Salute to you guys out there and you know, to the GP and everyone else now. Do what you fuck you do. But I think we all know how the game has gotten. Come on now. I was in West Valley. Motherfuckers was talking about homies and blacks are gambling and eating. Although I love that. Although I advocate for that. Although I'm happy that I can do that on the PC side. For years, that was considered a PC activity. Just saying. I hope you guys like this part 2, man. I'll be getting into part 3 soon. Much love, much respect. It's your boy Savvy 100. Ouch.